Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the new makeup products that have been released over the past couple of months. So some of these are products that I've already tried out, and so for those products I will be sharing with you my initial experiences with them. And then for the products that I haven't tried yet, I will be looking at the ingredient list and sharing with you the other information that I know about them. So I think that the last one of these new product videos that I did was at the beginning of September, but there have been an awfully lot of products that have been released since then because the holiday season is coming up. So I think that probably things will be slowing down as we move into November and December. And so probably for the rest of the year, I'll be focusing more on trying new products on camera and on putting together various lists of the best of products for the year or of all time, and then also talking about the sales that are going to be coming up. So first, a little bit of information about me. I am 60 years old and I have dry and sensitive skin, and I usually spend only about 5 or 10 minutes a day putting on makeup, and so I want the products that I'm using to be really reliable and fairly easy and fun to use. And over the past 3 years, I have tried more than 1,000 makeup products, and so I do have a pretty good basis of comparison for everything that I try on this channel. And one thing that I have learned is that there are some ingredients that always do irritate my sensitive skin, and I know that these are irritating for many other people as well. So I just don't talk about products with these ingredients on this channel. And so first, let's look at some of the recent releases that actually do include those ingredients that I do find problematic. So I made a list of all of those products so that you would know which ingredients they do have in them that are making them a no-go for me. And so let's go in alphabetical order, and so we will start with Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I did get a chance to go to Sephora and to try out their Blurring Serum Liquid Blush, which is $25. And I think compared to other liquid blush that I have tried, I actually did really like this one. So this is one that I'm kind of thinking about buying. You know, I've really almost never had any experiences with Anastasia Beverly Hills that have really made me want to try the brand again. I think that their Brow Wiz pencil, that is okay. But other than that, I've not been a big fan of their brand. But I think that this is an interesting enough product that I kind of am interested in picking that up. And I do think that when I tried it in the store, it looked nice on me. And then Bare Minerals has a new concealer that has an SPF of 25. And this is a silicone-based concealer. And it is the case that over the past few months I've come up with several different liquid concealers that I have really liked, but historically I've not had very good success with any of the liquid concealers that I have used. They tend to really exacerbate the look of my wrinkles. And so my suspicion would be that this is what would happen with this Bare Minerals product as well, but I still am a little bit interested in going to, I guess it's at Ulta or maybe Sephora, and giving this a try. So I will try to do that when I get a chance. And apart from the silicone, I think that the ingredients in this don't look too bad. And Basma has a new cream blush, and I am seeing on the ingredient list that it includes a sunscreen booster that is called DESM. I don't know a lot about that sunscreen booster. I'm not sure if that is irritating for my skin. I have tried 1 or 2 products that did have that on the ingredient list, and I'm not sure that those were especially problematic, but I also am not sure how much it might vary depending on how much of that particular ingredient is in a product. So I'm a little hesitant to go ahead and buy this. I don't think that Basma is stocked at my local Sephora, but if anybody has tried this particular cream blush product, then let me know how you do with it, please. And the one Basma product that I have tried was a foundation stick, and I thought that it performed fairly well, but it also did irritate my skin a little bit, and I think that that might have been because of the retinol palmitate in it. And so they seem to have a habit of putting various active ingredients in their products that my skin does not always like, maybe. Now, Biossance is a skincare company, and I actually do like a lot of their products quite a bit. I've had surprisingly good success with their products. And in this case, they have a new lip balm out that has some peptides in it and squalane and sodium hyaluronate. I think that overall this looks pretty good, except that it does have ethyl vanillin in it. I'm not a big fan of ethyl vanillin, so that kind of makes me think that I might skip this release. But if you like the taste of artificial vanillin, then this might be a good product for you. And by the way, this product on the Biossance website, I know that there's a few different colors of it that are tinted. I don't know that they're going to be having those at Sephora. I think they just have the untinted one on the Sephora website. And By Terry is a French brand that is run by a woman who has a history of helping other cosmetic companies before she started her own brand. And so a lot of people do seem to like this line. I have never really tried anything from it in the past because almost all of their products in the past have had fragrance or other problematic ingredients in them. But in this case, they came out with this new hyaluronic concealer, and this ingredient list looks fine to me. I don't think that it's looking like there's probably anything in there that I can imagine would be irritating. So I am a little bit interested in trying this out. Now, again, this is in that same category of concealers that are much more expensive than the ones that have been released in the past. So this is $47. And so I would like to hear a few people review this product before I go ahead and spring for it myself. But as I say, a lot of people that are really into luxury products do like this brand by Terry. So if they are moving more towards having ingredient lists that I feel like I can tolerate, then maybe I should be giving it a try. And it does seem that there are a lot of possibly good ingredients in here. There's caffeine and several different kinds of sodium hyaluronate. And so that could be a good thing depending on the formula. So if you hear much about this, then let me know about that, because if it seems to be a good one, then I'd be interested. And then By Terry also has some what seem to be tinted highlighters that are really kind of pretty. Some of them are so tinted that they're more like a glowy blush. But the container for these look like they are gorgeous, and the product in there is like a baked gelée type of a formula that looks really pretty also. So this looks like a really lovely sort of Christmassy type of a release, and I would be interested in trying this out. I don't think that this is in any of the retailers that I have access to, though, so that would be a lot of money to spring for $72 without having actually tried it out in the store. Now, Chanel is a brand that historically I haven't been able to use very much of because they tend to put either fragrance or aluminum powder in almost everything. But over the past year or so, they have released quite a few things that have had ingredients lists that have been okay for me, and I have really liked all of those products quite a lot. So the recent ones that they have released, they released this new Les Terreaux de Chanel blush, and I did pick up this in the color Blood Orange, and I did a video on this product, and I thought that this was really nice on me, and it was really fun in terms of creating a nice fall look that went with the trees and the pumpkins. And then to go along with this, I picked up a new shade in their lip pencil, and I am a really big fan of their lip pencils, and this beige orange shade I think is really nice on my kind of muted coloring. And there are a few other new colors of the lip pencils that have just been released as well. And then for the holiday line, they have a couple of products that I'm not sure that I want them, but they do seem to have ingredient lists that should be okay for me. So one of those is called the Diamond Dust Oversized Illuminating Powder. So this seems to be a finishing powder, and I think it is kind of sparkly. Now, I think this is the product that has an overspray on it. So if you can get the top overspray out of the powder, then it's sort of only moderately glittery. And I think that I would be interested in springing for this, except that $95 is a really large amount of money, so I don't know that I would want to spend that much money without actually having tried it out. But I think that a powder like this that's a little bit shimmery that you can use just on your cheeks or maybe across the bridge of your nose, I think would be kind of fun, especially for the holiday season. So I am a little bit interested in it because I've had such good experiences with Chanel products, but that is a little pricey. And then they have an eyeshadow and blush palette with 4 shades, and this is called Enchanted Night. And the thing about this palette is that it looks really, really bright, both in the palette itself and then in the pictures that I have seen of people trying it on. And I think that from my coloring, this is probably just inappropriate. My coloring is just really muted, and so I tend not to be able to do very well with really bright colors. And especially when we get into these bright colors that lean purple or really, really cool, I think that those are hard for me to carry off. Now, I kind of feel like, though, that we're moving more into the 80s, and I know that those colors used to be really popular during the 1980s, and I feel like they're coming back now. So maybe if we get to the point where they become really, really popular and everyone is wearing them, then maybe I will look at them a little bit differently and be more interested myself. But at this point, I think that I need to stick with more muted colors. So I'm a little bit disinclined to actually purchase either of these new Chanel products, even though their ingredient lists look like they would be okay for me. But at least I am really happy that they are continuing to make products that will work for me. That seems to be a good sign for the future. And then Chantecaille has a couple of Christmas products that look like they might have potential. One of those is called the Gilded Garden Lip Crystal. And this looks like a really, really pretty lipstick in terms of the design on the lipstick itself and on the container. Unfortunately, that one does contain ethyl vanillin, and I think that if I'm going to spring for a Chantecaille lipstick, I want it to be an unscented one. So their lip veils do not have any scent in them, and I do like those products, and they are a little expensive at more than $50, but at least I do enjoy them when I use them. And then the lip cheeks have a vanillin type flavor in them, and then these lip crystals have lip vanillin. So I'm not a fan of vanillin, so I'll probably skip this one. But if you like vanillin, or if you don't mind it, then this would be one to consider, although of course it is really pricey. But it does look very, very pretty. And then Chantecaille already has a number of these Sheer Glow products that come in a large container and that you can use to give yourself just a little bit of color. And so their new one is a gold color that I guess is going to be working for the holidays. And the problem with this one is that it does include rose geranium oil in it, which I am just frankly allergic to, even in really small quantities. And then it includes a few other fragrance products, citronella, linalool, geraniol, and so therefore I feel pretty confident that my skin would not be able to tolerate this one, so I'm going to be skipping that one. But I do know a lot of people with sensitive skin that still can tolerate those kinds of fragrance ingredients, and for them this might be an interesting release. It does have a few peptides in the formula, and a lot of people seem to think that these are very pretty. And although it's $84, at least you get a fair amount in the container. And then Ciele is a pretty new line of makeup products, all of which include an SPF in them. And the issue for me with these products is that almost all of them include sunscreen boosters. So sunscreen boosters are chemicals like butyloctyl salicylate that actually are exactly like regular sunscreens that are chemically based, except they have never been submitted for regulatory approval. And those always do irritate my skin. And I don't have any problem with companies using them, but I think that the idea that these companies are selling these products as being mineral sunscreens when most of the sunscreen protection is coming from these sunscreen boosters is kind of problematic. And I think it's very confusing to the consumers that really are trying to stick with mineral-based sunscreens and not use the chemical ones. And I purchased an awfully lot of products over time that irritated my skin and that confused me a lot until I figured out that these sunscreen boosters are actually just really like chemical sunscreens. So interestingly, now they have a new concealer, and this concealer actually does not include any sunscreen boosters. It just includes high amounts of zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. So this might be one that I might be able to wear, but for a couple of reasons I'm a little disinclined to purchase this one. First of all, because I'm kind of annoyed at this company for saying that they are selling mineral sunscreens when they actually have these sunscreen boosters in them. And then the other issue is that I suspect that since I've always had problems with liquid concealers causing my skin to look like it has worse wrinkling, that probably this one would actually do this at least as much. But I'm not absolutely sure of that, so if I ever see this at Sephora, I might give it a try. But in general, I just tend not to like liquid concealers very much, with a few very specific exceptions. Now, Danessa Myricks has a new palette out. This is called Lightwork 6 Freedom Palette. It is $128, and it has aluminum powder. I think that there was just one shade or maybe two shades of this that do have aluminum powder in it. And like the Natasha Denona palettes, it seems that this Danessa Myricks palette is one that you can take out the shades that you don't want to see in your palette and maybe replace them with other shades from other palettes. So I think that some people might be interested in this particular palette. It is very, very bright. So this is an even brighter palette, I think, than that Chanel one. So I think in general that Danessa Myricks is not really making a lot of makeup for me. I think that she is more making makeup that works well on dark skin tones, or that works well for people that like brightly colored makeup. And so for me, this is probably not the makeup that I want to be spending my money on. But I do think it looks like a lovely palette. And if they have it at Sephora next time I go there, then I will go play with it a little bit and see what it's like. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did a video where I talked about Sarah Creel and the Tom Ford lip liner, and also in that video I talked about the Dior Backstage Glow face palette that I have, and the one that I have is called Glitz, and this is 002, and I do really like that palette. There are a couple of shades. There's one that's kind of peach and there's one that's kind of bronze that I have been able to use, and that just seem like they are kind of like tinted highlighters, and they're just mildly shimmery, and I think that those do look really gorgeous on my skin. And then there's a couple of shades in there that have a little bit more glitter to them that I would more wear for special occasions or just to have fun. So they have a new shade in this Backstage Glow face palette, and this is called Celestial Glow, which is 006. And this one does seem to have an ingredient list that looks okay to me, but from what I have been hearing, this one seems to have all of the shades being really, really shiny and kind of a little bit glittery, and so that might be a little bit too much for me. I might skip that one. The other shade that they are currently selling is called Universal, and that is 001. And that particular one seems to be a little bit cooler than the one that I have, but again, it's kind of neutral shades, and it's more on the slightly shimmery rather than glittery side. And I will point out that there are some of the Glow face palettes that they have released in the past that have had aluminum powder in them, and so I've needed to avoid those. But it seems to me, and I've spent quite a bit of time trying to verify this, that all three of these shades that I have listed here, that all three of these are aluminum free, so I'm happy about that. And then Dolce & Gabbana is a brand that I've tried a couple of things in. I've really only tried one formula from them, though. I tried their bronzers, and then I liked those so much that I tried one of their blush, but these are really the same formula, just in different colors. And the bronzer is actually one of my very favorite bronzers, and the blush is also really, really nice. So they also have some new matte lipsticks and then some satin lipsticks that they are coming out with, and these are available in quite a few different colors. And the issue that I have with this is that I don't feel like the website is providing a very good sense of what these colors are like, and so I'm having a hard time even choosing which of those colors might be appropriate for me. And so I would be a little bit interested in seeing some more people review these products. They are quite expensive. They're $45 each, and I would probably want to try both of these if I were just going to dive in and get them. So I might think about buying them fairly soon. For instance, if Dolce & Gabbana had a sale, or if these were on sale at a department store, then I might think about buying one right away. So if you guys hear anything about those, I would really like to know what you are thinking about them. And I haven't focused a lot on M Cosmetics yet. I've just tried a few products from them, and I have liked the ones that I have tried. So I think that over the next few months, I would like to do a whole video on M Cosmetics and just try a few things on camera. And their newest product is called the Shapeshift Tubing Mascara, and I think, I don't know what tromethamine is, so I'm not sure that I would react to that or not. I don't think I've ever seen that on an ingredient list before. But I would be a little bit interested in trying that because I am interested in tubing mascaras. Now, if it were brown, I would buy it right away. But as it is, since it's black, I am interested in buying it. But I'm not sure if, maybe they'll have a sale soon. That would be good. And Gen Z is a brand that I have just been experimenting with, and I've actually kind of liked all of the things that I have tried, and so I'm also going to be trying out some of their eyeshadows. And their newest product is the Cruise Liner Lip Pencils, and so I would be a little bit interested in trying those out as well to see how they go. And in terms of the ingredient list, it looks like there's probably some potential here. I don't see any ingredients on there that I know that I'm reactive to, so I think that it might be worth giving this one a try. Now, Givenchy is a brand that I've never tried at all because I have never found any products from them that had ingredient lists that didn't have problematic ingredients on them. But this one actually looks like it might be okay for me, possibly. So this is a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. I actually feel like it looks a lot like the Lancome eyeshadow palette that was developed by Lisa Eldridge that I'll talk about in a few minutes. So for that reason, I'm not sure if I need both of these palettes, but it might be interesting to compare. And this one has barium sulfate in it, and I'm a little bit wondering if that might be causing me reactions sometimes. I feel like that might be an issue for me. So that makes me a little hesitant to buy this one. But I am happy to see that Givenchy is offering an eyeshadow palette that I actually do have some chance of tolerating. That is progress for that brand. And then Glossier has released a few different products recently. So Glossier, first of all, has a new line of lip liners that are supposed to be natural colors that are supposed to be based on either nipple colors or lip colors. And so I picked up 2 of those and I actually really, really like them. I like both the colors of those. And I also really like the formula. I think that they go on really nicely and that they stay in place pretty well. And so the lip liner that I am wearing today is called Bit from Glossier, and then I put a little bit of the new RMS lip oil over the top of that. And then also at Sephora, I tried their new Boy Brow Pencil. I actually tried both the Glossier pencil and the new Merit pencil at the same time, and I felt like in the store both of those performed pretty equally to me in terms of creating an eyebrow look that I thought was okay for me, especially since I wasn't wearing it with a brow gel. I kind of liked both of those. So I am thinking that when the Sephora sale comes up, I probably will buy one of these Boy Brow pencils and see how I do with it going forward. And then one of my very favorite makeup products sort of all times is the Glossier Ultra Lip, which is a really soft and moisturizing lip balm that has held up really well for me. So Glossier is offering a kit for the holiday season that includes one of the Ultra Lips, and it also includes one of their cloud paints, which are like a liquid blush. And I actually do like the cloud paints, and I don't think I have this color Storm, and the Ultra Lip has never been available in the Storm color before, and so that makes me really interested in it because I do like to collect these Ultra Lips, and this color looks like it might be really nice in this lipstick. So even though I don't use the Glossier cloud paints probably often enough that I absolutely need another one of them, I really am fond enough of these Ultra Lips that I probably will go ahead and spring for it during this Sephora sale. And then one of Glossier's most popular products is Balm.com, and I am not a fan of that particular product, and I think it is because I have to be kind of really desperate to be willing to put petrolatum on my lips. I really prefer to have things that are natural rather than something that is petroleum-based. It just doesn't feel very good to me, and it also is the case that most of these products, except for the untinted one, do include flavors in them, and I haven't really been crazy about any of the flavors. But they do have a new set that is available for the holiday season that includes two new flavors. One is espresso and one is biscotti. And so if you are a big fan of Balm.com yourself, then that could be a product to consider. And Goop is a brand that is now starting to introduce a few makeup products of their own. And so the one that they introduced this month is called the Hydra Barrier Gel Gloss. It costs $30 and it seems to be a combination between having a little bit of moisturizing ingredients in it, and then it also just looks like it's pretty glossy. And so in terms of the moisturizing ingredients, let's see, it has sodium hyaluronate in it and a peptide and some Rosa canina extract. So I kind of think this isn't probably going to be as moisturizing for my lips as I would prefer. I actually prefer that anything that I put on my lips, unless it's going to be a serious lipstick, that it really needs to be good for my lips primarily, and then how it looks is secondary. And this one looks like it's more just like a regular gloss. So I might skip this one, but I am happy to see that Goop is creating some new makeup products, and that in terms of their ingredient list, it looks like they might be okay. Now, Guerlain is a French brand, and they do put fragrance in almost everything that they offer, and so that makes those products not ones that I will be able to use. I did pick up one of their eyeshadow quads last year. Now, the eyeshadow quads are really the only product that they offer that has an ingredient list that seemed okay to me, and I did find those eyeshadows to be a little too pigmented in terms of their being really easy for me to work with, but I thought that they were okay. And recently, Guerlain has come out with a few products that are actually in packages that I really kind of like. So usually I don't really care that much about packages, but I did really like the Guerlain Pucci package, and I kind of like this case for this Regardez-moi line, which seems to have a lot of rhinestones in it, and I think this is really kind of cute. And so if this were an eyeshadow palette shade range that I thought would be usable for me, then I probably would pick it up. But for some reason they put in these colors that are like all really bright, like reds and pinks, and I think that that would look really terrible, especially on me. I don't think it's that attractive of an eyeshadow look on most people, but I think especially on me it would look really dreadful. So even though they are now making products that are in packaging that I actually really like, I think it's very odd that they are making all of these products in such bright colors that very few people should be able to probably use those very comfortably. And now that it is the holiday season, one of the biggest releases is the line of Hourglass Ambient palettes. So there are 3 different shades for the regular line of palettes, and then oddly there are 3 other different palettes that are associated with the defunct department store that is called Barney's. But in any case, I never tried these palettes until last year, even though a lot of people do go kind of crazy over them. But I was tempted last year because I did like the container for them. So I've always been a really big fan of owls, even since I was a tiny little kid. And so they had this palette that was available with an owl on it. And it's actually a lovely palette. It's like all metal. So compared to all of the makeup containers that I've ever seen, this is a really, really gorgeous container. And in terms of the shades of the product, it looks like it's attractive. But you know what? I ended up hardly ever wearing this particular product. So I'm not sure why it is that I don't seem to be really very interested in wearing this. It's not that I think it looks bad on me. I think it looks okay. And it is very easy to use. And it is just mildly shimmery, which is kind of a look that I like. But I feel like I just don't seem to be that interested in reaching for this product, and I don't feel that excited about these formulas. Now, according to EWG, this product does have some ingredients in it that are problematic, some acrylics. I haven't found those to be irritating for my skin, but I don't think that it would be allowed to be sold at Credo. Now, as this holiday season has approached, I became interested in these palettes again because everyone was talking about them. And I was kind of especially interested in the dragon palette because my high school mascot was the dragon, and I am a year of the dragon and the Chinese zodiac. And I kind of do like the whole concept of Chinese New Year. And so that kind of made me a little bit interested. But again, I haven't used this palette very much. And so over the past few weeks, I put the palette out in a place that is where I usually am doing my makeup to see if I could use it a bit more. And I just don't feel like I'm really enjoying using this palette as much as I am a lot of my other makeup. So that makes it a little bit unlikely that I should probably buy this again, although I will probably look at Sephora when I go there to see if they have these palettes in stock, and if they do have them in stock, and if they do have that dragon one in stock and it is the Sephora sale, then I might still end up picking it up, but I really don't think that I should because I haven't really gotten that much use out of this palette either. But there are some people that just go crazy for these palettes and that do use them very frequently and have this be part of their main makeup routine. And if you really like these blushes and highlighters and powders that are in here, then I think this could be a really nice product to do your makeup with because it is all in one palette and the container is so lovely. Now, Huda is a brand that I really haven't had a lot of success with. I've tried maybe half a dozen products from them. I do kind of like their Easy Bake Loose Powder. They finally made that available in a fragrance-free formula, and so I did pick that up off of their website. And I thought that that product was okay. And so when they came out with a new foundation that is called Easy Blur, and people seem to be talking about that, I did try this on in the Sephora store, and I really liked it enough that I decided to spring for their mini version. So their regular foundation is an ounce, and they put it in plastic packaging, which people seem to think is a little bit cheap. But they also have a 1/3 of an ounce, which almost seems like a trial size, but there's pretty much product in here. And so I've been experimenting with this as well, and I actually do kind of like this foundation. So I think that pretty soon I'm going to do a video on some of the foundations that have come out this year and what I have thought of them. And this one I think has been a nice one. I've been really kind of surprised at how much I've liked it. And my skin seems to be doing fine with it so far. I haven't had any problems, so I'm really happy about that. And then Huda also released with that product an Easy Blur Primer, and I think that they are suggesting that for the best possible outcome that you use the primer first and then you put the foundation over the top of it. I did not have the chance to try out this primer. They didn't actually have that on display at the store that I went to, so I haven't tried that. And I'm not sure I feel as comfortable with the ingredient list for this Easy Blur Primer, but I really feel like their regular foundation has been working very nicely for me without my having to put that primer down on underneath it. Now, Ilia has a new bronzer line and a new highlighter line, but the bronzers are really glowy bronzers, and the ingredient lists for both the bronzers and the highlighters are exactly the same. And when I went to Sephora a couple of weeks ago, I did try out both of those products, and I thought that, like really almost all of the Ilia products, they seemed like they were fine. I didn't feel like they were products that I thought that I would really fall in love with, but I still may buy one of those during the Sephora sale, or maybe I'll try it on again in the store and see if I'm still feeling the same way about it before I go ahead and buy them. And then they also have a new palette that they are calling the Ethereal Face Palette. And this has 4 different products in it. So it's supposed to be blush, bronzer, and highlighter. And I am not sure that this is a product that I can feel that excited about either. I would be interested in taking a look at that at Sephora if they have it there. But in general, I'm not sure I like face palettes that much. And Jane Iredale has a new line of lip glazes. They are $32. It looks to me like this is sort of the same kind of a product as that Goop one. It is mostly designed to be a lip gloss, but that there is a little bit of hydration in this as well. And I think that a lot of the products from Jane Iredale are sold at Bluemercury, so it might be the case that I would have a chance to experiment with that product in the store next time I go to Bluemercury. And then Jane Iredale also has a holiday palette that is called the Merry and Bright Face Palette. And these are all cream products, and they seem to be all of the cream products that they also offer in stick form. And I actually have a few of these different stick products from Jane Iredale, and I think that they are nice stick products. I have gotten some use out of them. I think that if I'm going to reach for a cream stick product, that I'm a little bit more likely to reach for some of the other ones that I have, such as the Merit products or the Westman Atelier products or the Jones Road ones. But the Jane Iredale formulas are fine also. I think that some of them are very nice. And so having them in a little palette like this is a kind of a fun idea. So if this one is at the Blue Mercury store, I will give that one a try as well. And then Jones Road has come out with a new kit, which is called the Bobby Kit 4.0. So this is to celebrate their 4th anniversary of starting their business. And the thing that is kind of exciting about this kit is that it includes a little gel eyeliner in a pot with a little brush. And this is a product that Bobbi Brown sort of invented back when she was at the Bobbi Brown Company. And so I think it's kind of fun that she has recreated it for her new company. And I would really like to try that product, but it is currently available only in this kit. And I don't think I will be able to get this kit in time to make a video about it because last year the kit sold out really fast, and I'm kind of expecting it to sell out really fast this year. So probably I will just wait, and I suspect that within the next maybe 6 months or so they will release those gel eyeliners as an individual product, and so we can take a look at them then. So in addition to the gel eyeliner, the kit includes a mini Miracle Balm, and you have a couple of different shade choices. And then it includes a little lippy stick in the color Me, and it includes a Just a Sec eyeshadow that is like a cream eyeshadow in a little pot. And so I personally already have a couple of these things, and it also is the case that I can't really use either the Miracle Balm or the lippy sticks because my skin is sensitive to the essential oils in those products. And so unfortunately I think I'm going to be skipping this release, but if you do need these products, I think this could be really fun. And Kosas has a couple of new products. So one of those is a line extension of their Cloud Set powders that are in 3 different colors. So the one that I purchased is the pink one, and it is a pretty light pink. And then there also is a peach one and a yellow one. And so these are supposed to be brightening powders, and they're supposed to work for different people depending on what your skin tone is. And for this one, I really just want to use a pink powder all over my face. And I think this one is a little bit on the light side for me, but I think that depending on the kind of foundation that I'm wearing or what kind of look I'm going for, I think the pink powder is okay. But I really kind of think that with Kosas, I probably will be better off really sticking with my usual shade. And I think I usually use Feathery, if I'm not mistaken. And then they also came out with a line of different kinds of eyeliners, some of which are in really bright colors. And so I picked up the one that is plain brown because a lot of the other colors were sold out. And I feel like with this eyeliner that the tip tends to be a little bit on the making a really kind of a wide line on my eyeline. So I think that compared to a lot of the eyeliners that I have, that this one tends to want to create a kind of a more of a dramatic eye look than I really would prefer. Now it does have a little sharpener here, but I feel like even when I just opened the product and started drawing, it was still a little bit too thick for my liking. So in general, I think that there are a lot of eyeliners that I like a bit better, but at least this one has not been irritating my eyes, so I've been really happy about that. And I do think it stayed in place fairly well. Now, Kulfi is a brand that, to my understanding, has their primary target of people who are from South Asian backgrounds, such as from India, and so a lot of the colors that they offer tend to be not exactly right for my own skin tone. But I think that they are expanding their shade ranges of a lot of their products, and the products that I have tried from them, I really have liked the quality quite a lot. And one product that I've been thinking about trying from them for a while are the Zari Eyes eyeshadows, which are cream eyeshadows that come in a pot that a lot of people do really like. and they came out with a few new shades of these, and so that is one product that I would like to pick up during the Sephora sale so that I can give it a try. And as I've said before, I'm not especially a fan of the Kardashian-Jenner family, but I am a little bit interested in their cosmetics because they are made by Coty. And I think that it is a fairly successful attempt by Coty to move into sort of cleaner beauty products. And in this case, Kylie Cosmetics just came out with a new skin tint, which is available at Ulta. And so after looking at the ingredient list for that, I did actually put that on my face in the store. And I was really impressed with it. I thought that this was actually quite a good skin tint and that it seemed to be comparing favorably to some of the other skin tints that I have tried recently that are much more expensive. So I do think that I would like to pick that one up. I kind of feel like I should be able to get it on sale maybe during the coming months, but I would like to pick that one up and maybe to do actually a comparison with some of the other skin tints that people tend to like to see if this one really seems to be as good as I think it is. Now, Laura Mercier, last year, Laura Mercier introduced a small little palette that I thought was absolutely terrific, which was called Japan in Bloom. And I think that this was really kind of totally overlooked in the marketplace, but I really, really enjoyed this one. And I actually purchased an extra one just because I thought it was a really good deal. So this particular palette is not on the market anymore, but they did introduce a new palette that I think seems to have very similar ingredients in terms of the formulas for the eyeshadows, and this is called the Winter Wonderment palette. And I have seen a couple of people on YouTube review this one. Not Fit for Print Beauty reviewed it, and Lexi Jong reviewed it, and I think that both of those are people that I agree with a lot of the time, and they both seem to be really enthusiastic about this palette as well. And so I am very interested in this palette. This one is more expensive than the one from last year. It looks like a larger palette that's more like a special holiday type of a thing. That one is $56, so I'm thinking that maybe I can get it on sale. Now, the issue with that one is that it does have one shade that has aluminum powder in it. And I believe it's the shade that is at the bottom left-hand corner of the palette that is sort of like a light lavender type of a color. So I can probably remember not to use that shade. And I think that I like this one enough that I may be interested in getting it again. And one thing that Rebecca from Not for Print Beauty said was that it reminded her in terms of the formula of the Byredo palette. And I think that that was absolutely right in terms of why I liked this Japan in Bloom palette so much, because that does seem to be exactly the kind of formula this is. And I think that that is a formula that I really have enjoyed using quite a lot. So for that reason alone, I'm really tempted to buy this Laura Mercier palette, even though it is more expensive and even though it does have that one shade that I wouldn't be able to use. And I do think that the color story for this Laura Mercier Winter Wonderment palette, that this one is actually really, really pretty this year. So that makes me want to get it too. And it seems to be a little bit different than what a lot of other people are doing. Now, Lisa Eldridge has a variety of different things going on for this holiday season. So the one that I have been the most excited about is the palette that she put together for Lancôme. So she is the creative director there. And even though really everything at Lancôme has ingredients in it that are problematic for me, it seems that when Lisa Eldridge puts together eyeshadow palettes for them, that they change their mind and they really create a palette that doesn't have any ingredients in them that are problematic at all. So last year I got a palette that was in association with the Louvre that I thought was very pretty. And then this palette I think is even better in terms of the usability of it. And so this is called the Celestial Rose palette, and it has these 6 shades in it. And I feel like 4 of these shades can also be used as highlighter shades. And I think that the blue color is really gorgeous as an eyeliner for me. And I think that this brown color is also super nice. So I really do like this palette an awfully lot. This is one of my favorite makeup products of the year, but for sure, and even though it is expensive, I do think this is possibly worth it. And then Lisa Eldridge, through her own company, she did introduce one new little eyeshadow palette. And this one has 3 different shades of brown in it. And I think this is kind of overkill. But what I started to think is that I could mix and match these shades of brown with some of my other Lisa Eldridge palettes, and that some of those other Lisa Eldridge palettes really do need some brown in them so that I can use it as an eyeliner. So I thought this would be a good one to pick up, and I do think that this is very pretty. And then in addition, Lisa Eldridge came out with a line of liquid eyeshadows that are matte. And so I picked up one of these shades in the color Phoebe, and I thought this was nice on me. Now, Lisa Eldridge is saying that this is supposed to be blurring and to be not emphasizing texture and making texture look better. And I feel like for me, it actually was emphasizing the texture that I have on my eyes. So I don't feel like that was exactly accurate. But I do think this is a really pretty color on my eyes. It's kind of a warm sort of caramel color that I think is very pretty. And so I have been wearing it from time to time. And as liquid eyeshadows go, this one does go on very easily, and it doesn't really take any time. So I did a video where I talked about all three of these products, just talking about Lisa Eldridge products, and so you may want to take a look at that video if you're interested in these. And then the newest release that Lisa Eldridge has is a lipstick that is she is calling the Rouge Experience, and this is a refillable lipstick. So before the release of this lipstick, Lisa Eldridge was suggesting that this was a first of its kind product, and so a lot of people were perplexed in terms of why it is that this was such a unique product. And as it turns out, what she is saying is that what makes this unique is that the whole component of the refills is just aluminum, and so when you finish using up the lipstick, then you can just take the aluminum and you can recycle it along with whatever kind of other aluminum you have. And so I think that that is a step in the right direction in terms of environmental sustainability. And in looking at the video that Lisa Eldridge did, it looked like the lipstick colors are really gorgeous. They're supposed to be the kind of lipstick that you would want to wear every day, and sort of halfway between her luxuriously lucent lipsticks and her true velvet lipsticks. And of course, they did look nice on her. And I did order one of these, so I am going to be comparing that to some of the other lipsticks that I have in my collection, including the new Nars lipsticks, which I actually am kind of crazy about, very soon on camera. MAC has a new liquid concealer, but when I look at the ingredient list for this, it doesn't have any ingredients in here that I think are necessarily no-go ingredients for me, but it does have an awfully lot of ingredients in there that I think possibly might be irritating for me. And it also is the case that most of the time I don't feel like I do very well with liquid concealer, so probably I will skip that one unless I happen to try it at the store and fall in love with it. And Makeup by Mario came out with 3 new products, and I've actually been liking all 3 of these. So, of course, the one that people have been talking about the most is this new Ethereal Eyes Moonlight palette, and it looks like this. And I am currently working on a video where I am trying on this particular palette and comparing it to some of the others that I have. So I will be preparing that video pretty soon. But so far, I've actually been really enjoying this palette. And then second, they have a new powder, and this is a loose powder, and it comes in a container that looks like this, and I picked up a shade that is called Neutral Peach, just because I seem to really like things on my skin that look like they are peach colored. And I think this has been a really terrific powder for me. I have only tried it a few times so far, so I haven't tried it with every foundation in my collection, and I haven't tried it under every different kind of weather condition. But in general, I do think this has been working really, really well for me. So I am really pleased about this particular powder. And then the third product that I also picked up was this setting spray from them, and I was kind of encouraged to pick this up because I had a good experience with the Nars setting spray that they released a few months ago. And I think that the Nars setting spray and the Makeup by Mario one do seem kind of similar to me. I've had a little bit of problems with the Nars one in terms of the spray nozzle not seeming to work especially well, and I seem to have had more luck with the Makeup by Mario one so far. But in terms of the products, I feel like they seem to be working fairly equally and pretty similarly to one another. So I want to continue to use these products because I haven't tried them with a whole lot of different things. But when I've tried them with some more challenging foundations, including the new Patrick Ta foundation, I feel like both of these setting sprays have worked really, really well for me. And this is really a kind of an advance for the whole cosmetic industry, because in the past I have never found a setting spray that I thought really was not irritating to my skin unless it seemed like it was doing nothing. And I feel like these particular setting sprays are actually very good for my skin. They feel nice on my skin. They don't feel irritating at all. And I do think that in terms of helping me to use makeup that is more glowy or a little bit wetter in feeling, that they can really help. And I think they also help the makeup last longer as well. Now, Merit has had quite a few really good releases recently. So first of all, in terms of their foundation stick, they have introduced quite a few new shades. And so I think that those people who in the past have had a hard time choosing a Merit shade because a lot of them tended to be, for instance, too warm for them, that you may have much better luck now. And I actually came up with a shade that I thought worked a lot better for me than the ones that they had in the past as well. So I was really happy about that. And I've been using this foundation stick a lot more often now that I feel like I have the right shade for me. And then also Merit has a new priming moisturizer, so it comes in a pump and it is unscented, and I feel like my skin does really, really well with this, and that when I put it on before makeup, that this is a product that does have a lot more moisturizer than most of the things that I'm used to putting on my skin in the morning, but that it does turn into a surface that it actually works well with a variety of different makeup, and it certainly does work well with the Merit's complexion stick that I have been using more frequently. And I feel like this one is a lot like the Bobbi Brown face base, which I actually have really liked, except for the fact that that does include a variety of different essential oils, including rose geranium oil, so I really haven't been able to use that one. But I've been really happy with this one, and I think that especially as the winter goes on, I will be getting a lot more use out of it, because it is nice to have my face be really nicely moisturized at the beginning of the day. And then Merit also makes a new brow pencil, and they're calling this Brow 1990, and it is a very, very small eyebrow pencil. And I think that it seemed like it was a lot like the Glossier Boy Brow pencil, which is also a very thin eyebrow pencil. And when I tried the Boy Brow pencil on one eyebrow and this one on the other eyebrow when I was at the Sephora store, I felt like they were both performing very similarly. And I did kind of like them, and I thought they looked nice, especially since I wasn't simultaneously using any eyebrow gel on my eyebrows. So when I came home, I thought about it, and I did order this one from Merit, and unfortunately this one has broken several times, and I don't feel like it has been performing that well in terms of creating a nice look on my eyebrows either. So I feel like this one might be defective, and they did give me a refund for that. And so I think that what I will do is go to Sephora and try the store model out again and see if it still is working well for me. And if so, then I will buy one at Sephora, and hopefully that one might work a little bit better than the one that I got in the mail. So I think that in general, these little tiny eyebrow pencils, they just are a little bit more fussy than the conventional eyebrow pencils that I usually use, and that makes me a little disinclined to kind of bother with them, especially since I know that this eyebrow pencil is much, 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 much more expensive than really almost any other eyebrow pencil on the market in terms of how much it costs per gram. And then in terms of holiday sets, I actually did a whole video on these, and I am really excited about them. So first of all, Merit introduced a line of 3 lipsticks that are in a holiday set, and 2 of these are existing lipsticks that they have. One is the matte and one is the satin, but they are in new shades. And the third one is called a lip blush, and this is actually a new formula, and I do really like this one. It is like a light matte lipstick, and it it does feel really good on my lips. And so I am kind of hoping that they will come out with more of these lip blush lipsticks. But this is a really fun set in any case, and I am really glad that I picked this up. And I think that all three of these colors are really wearable for me, and that the one that is called Bespoke, which is a pinky brown, this one is especially nice. And so I'm hoping that they come out with that Bespoke as part of their permanent line. And I'm also a little bit even interested in buying a second set of these lipsticks just so that I can have them as backups, because I like these colors an awful lot. And then they also have a new holiday set that is 3 Flush Balms, and one of these is a new shade, which is again that same pinky brown shade that is called Bespoke. And then the other 2 shades of this are Stockholm and Mood, which I did not have before. So I think this was a nice product too. In general, I do really like the Flush Balms. And then the last Merit product is a new fragrance, and it is called Retrospect. And this does have some synthetic fragrance in it. They are claiming that it is safe synthetics, but in general, I have really not found any safe synthetic, quote unquote, products that have been okay for me in terms of how they have smelled, and usually they do give me a headache. So I suspect that I am not going to do well with this one. I imagine eventually they'll have it at Sephora, and so I'll get a chance to smell it. But if this is the kind of fragrance that you like, a lot of people do seem to be kind of excited about this one. And Mob Beauty has 3 new shades in their Cream Clay Shimmer line that they are doing in conjunction with Shelby Wilson, who is a YouTuber. And I found that the 2 shades that I purchased that were the original ones, that I think that they are really pretty, but they do go on kind of translucent, so I feel like they are not really covering over the darkness on my lids, and that if I want them to look nice, that I really need to put concealer down first. So that is an extra step compared to what I am used to doing with the cream clay eyeshadows. One thing that I really like about those is that I don't have to put down anything before them. But if I'm going to put concealer on my eyes, then I think that these are really pretty shimmery type of shades. And I think that they also work well over, for instance, powder eyeshadow. And so if you like any of these colors that they are offering now, I do think it's a quality product. And then the other new thing from Beauty is what they are calling the Southern Goth Collection. And this is from Jessica Hayes, who is a makeup artist who has kind of a goth vibe to her makeup. And 2 of these shades, the reddish ones, I think that those probably would not work very well for me. But I do think that the green ones are really interesting. So I like the regular cream clay eyeshadow that is in the green color. And then the other one is a highlighter that is in a sparkly green color. And I am kind of interested in this grungy, greenish type of a look, and I think that people are kind of now responding to the brat summer trend that took place over the summer. And Rituel de Fille is offering products that seem a little bit similar to that. And in general, I do really like green eyeshadow and green products. And so I think I may buy these, and I may buy the Rituel de Fille ones, and I may pull out some other green eyeshadows from my collection and just do a whole video on green eyeshadow just for fun, because I tend to be a fan of those. And there's not always that many green eyeshadows on the market, so this seems like a good time to pick them up if you do like them. Now, Makeup Forever is a brand that I have never purchased anything from, because almost everything that they offer does seem to have fragrance or other problematic ingredients in it. But I was a little bit interested in their eyeshadow palettes that they just offered, which are called the Mini Artist To Go palettes. And I did try these at the Sephora store, and I thought that they seemed fine. I put a little bit of it on my eyes. I don't feel like they were irritating. The ingredient list looks fine. I think that the formula is not one that I am really excited about, but I can probably make it work. So if one of those has a color story that you really like, and if you do have sensitive eyes, then it still might be worth giving it a try. I think that this is a nice product from this brand that I'm happy to see. And then Nars is actually one of my favorite brands, and they have a few different products that they are offering. So first of all, they have offered a line of refillable lipsticks, and I have tried one of the shades of this, which is called Body Heat, and I think this is a terrific lipstick. So I will try a little bit of that on right now, just because my other lipstick seems to have worn off. So let's put a little bit of this on. I think that in terms of how this feels on my lips, I think it feels absolutely terrific. So I am glad that Nars finally came out with a satin type of a lipstick that is really comfortable but not too shiny, that I really can wear on a regular basis. And it comes in a whole lot of different shades, and I think that there are a lot of shades that are in interesting enough colors that I feel really excited about wearing them. And this is a refillable lipstick. Now, it is not, unlike the Lisa Eldridge lipstick, this is not in aluminum. You can't actually recycle this very easily. This is just a plastic component. So that does make it a little bit less desirable in terms of the environment, I guess. But in terms of the formula of the lipstick and in terms of how much I have been enjoying it, I do really, really like it. So I do want to get some more refills for these, or maybe even some more full lipsticks. The lipsticks themselves, I think, are kind of on the expensive side, but the refills are actually reasonably priced, and so that makes me a little bit more enthusiastic about them. And then other products that Nars has that are new, they have a new Pure Luxury Light Reflecting Cheek and Eye Palette. It does seem like every Christmas that Nars comes out with a new cheek and eye palette or a new cheek palette or both. And I think that after a while, it starts to seem like maybe these are a little bit on the repetitive side. When I have gone to the Nars website and I have looked at their last chance page, which sometimes is 50% off, I think that some of those are still just as nice as the new ones that they are offering. They don't seem to be changing the colors that much. So I think that what I may do is to go back and get out some of my older palettes that are still for sale on the Nars site and actually demonstrate those, because I think that those could be ones that people are kind of interested in for the holiday season, either as gifts or for themselves. And then in addition, they have a new setting powder that is called Gold Dust Light Reflecting Setting Powder, and a Gold Rush eyeshadow. And so those are both supposed to be giving you kind of holiday type of looks. And then in their regular blush line, they have two new shades. And so one is called Impassioned, and this is a lighter shade, and it seems to be leaning quite purplish, or kind of like an Ashes of Roses type of a purple. And I think that one actually is kind of pretty. So usually I can't wear purples very well, but I think I actually might be able to get away with this one. So especially if I can find this in a store so that I can try it out, I might actually be interested in that shade. And then there is a quite bright purplish type of a shade that is called Teased that I think would be inappropriate for me, but that a lot of people might really like. And Natasha Denona has a few different products. So I did go to Sephora and look at the I Need a Warm palette, and I kind of liked it. I think that I actually like the golden palette that I already have better, and I think that many of the shades are actually quite similar. So I'm not sure that I actually need the I Need a Warm palette. It does have a number of sort of orangish type, copper type shades in it that are not in the golden palette, that I think are kind of nice for this time of year as kind of fall shades. But whether or not I actually need that palette, I don't know. But I still might pick that one up, especially if I can get a good sale, because it is very pretty. And then there is a brand new palette that is called either the Roxa palette, or some people say that it is supposed to be called the Rocha palette. And this one is another one of those palettes that has all of those bright purple type shades in it that I really don't think is appropriate for me at all. So it is interesting to see how many different products seem to be coming on the market with all of these bright shades that I don't think I can wear, and that do remind me of going back to the 1980s. So it'll be interesting to see if this sticks and how many people actually do start to wear these types of colors, because I would be a little bit shocked if we went back to having color palettes that are that bright at this point in time. And then for the holidays, she has what is called the Baby I Need a Nude Kit, which has a small eyeshadow palette with 3 different colors in it, and also an eye pencil. And I haven't ever tried the Natasha Denona eye pencil, but the formula looks like it would be okay. And the eyeshadow palette looks like it would be fine. I don't see any problematic ingredients. in those, and so that might be interesting, especially for people that don't already have the I Need a Nude palette already. And then there's a little mini blush that is called the Rose Cheek Duo, which is $20, and so that I picked up a blush from her last year, and I thought it was fine, and this one is probably fine. And then on her website there is a new lip mask, which is under the Hygiene line, and this one does have ethyl vanillin in it, so probably I will skip it, but that does come in a few different colors. And in terms of the ingredient list, it has squalane and sodium hyaluronate in it, and I think it might be nice on the lips based on the ingredient list. OG is a company that sells through Bluemercury, or maybe that is their house line. And I would be a little bit interested in this, except I do see that it has phenethyl alcohol in it. And phenethyl alcohol is a laboratory fragrance that is supposed to smell like roses, but that I do find to be kind of annoying, and that it does seem to irritate my skin. So I probably will skip this one, although if I could try it on at Bluemercury, then I will try to give that a try. And then One Size is a brand that seems to target mostly people with oilier skin and also people that like heavier makeup looks. And so both of those are not very appropriate for me, but they did release a new foundation which is called Turn Up the Base Full Beat. So that does sound like it would be a really heavy foundation. But I have been hearing some good things about it as heavy foundations go. And in terms of the ingredient list, I think the ingredient list looks like it's probably okay, at least for me and for many other people. So if you are looking for a heavier foundation look, or if someone that you know is looking for a look like this, then that could be one to try. Now, Patrick Ta has two new products that people are talking about. So the first one is the Major Skin Hydra Luxe Foundation, and this is actually quite a dewy foundation, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. I thought that I might really, really hate it, but I did go to Sephora and I tried this out, and I feel like if I don't put very much of it on my skin, I thought that it made my skin look a lot better in terms of the texture, and that it is very moisturizing, and that it did feel really good. And it's not one of those foundations that sticks to my skin and I can't get it off. It actually does come off of my skin when I try to take it off with my cleansing balm, so I was happy about that. And it seems like this is really being liked by a lot of women who are older. And actually, when I was at the store, the other person who was looking at that foundation was about my age, and she actually really liked it also. So I think that for women who are maybe over 50, especially if you have drier skin, that this could be one that's worth looking at. I also did find that even if I put on more of this foundation, so that I started to get a little bit of coverage from it, that I was able to still make it work, especially if I used it with one of those setting sprays, either with the Makeup by Mario one or with the Nars one. And so that makes it seem like this is a product that I think that a lot of people could get a lot of use out of. I still do want to experiment with it a little bit more, but very soon, hopefully I can do a video where I show it on camera and talk about it a bit more. And then Patrick Ta also has a line of eyeshadow duos, and these are called Major Dimension Eyeshadow Duos. And all of the names seem to be related to going to really exclusive clubs. So that is something that makes me think that maybe these are really going to be very glittery, and maybe they will be inappropriate. But from what I have seen so far, they do look really pretty, and they don't look so glittery that I wouldn't be able to wear them, you know, just in my ordinary regular life. And I am a little bit interested in them. They are a little bit pricey, but I don't necessarily think that that is a drawback. I think it's more that people are thinking that Patrick Ta products are not supposed to be that expensive, rather than that they think that this $42 is really outrageous. So I am a little bit interested in this, and especially if I could try them on in the store, then I think that I would be interested in doing that. And in general, I don't think that in the past there has been even one product from Patrick Ta that I thought would work for me. But now it seems that the products that they are offering are a lot more expensive than in the past, but that the ingredient quality is a lot better than they were in the past, at least as far as I'm concerned. So I'm really happy to see that development, actually. Peter Thomas Roth, I saw that they had a line of a couple of products that they were calling the Bounce Stick. And these are products that I thought might be kind of similar to the Jones Road Miracle Balm that I am not able to use because it has a lot of different essential oils in it that I'm allergic to. And I actually have been liking this product, so I will just go ahead and show you on camera right now what this is looking like on me. But I think that in terms of it giving a little bit of moisture to my skin, and this is a pretty color. This is the color Blush Glow. I think this is actually a really nice little product, and I've been really happy with it. And from what I can tell of the ingredient list, it looks like it probably shouldn't go rancid very easily, I'm hoping. And so far it does smell good to me, and it doesn't have any fragrance in it at all. Ravie is a company that is from the YouTuber who is named Ali Glines. So she had a line of lipsticks that came out last year, and that line of lipsticks I really did like. Now they did have vanillin in them, and so I'm not that crazy about vanillin, but otherwise I thought that the little lipsticks that she released were very nice, and so that does make me a little bit interested in her new baked blush as well, and I think the ingredient list for these are fine. The other product that Ali makes is a line of makeup cases, and I actually do have 2 of those makeup cases, and I have found those to be very useful in terms of being able to find some of the products that I am looking for really easily without having a lot of shelf space or drawer space to give to them. Now, Rituel de Fille is a company that has been really hit or miss for me. So last year they came out with a foundation that really, really irritated my skin, and I think it's because it had a really novel ingredients in it that was derived from some kind of mold, and I do tend to be really, really reactive to mold. So that was unfortunate. And now they have a new concealer that also has some kind of an experimental ingredient in it that does make me kind of nervous, but I did decide to pick that up during the Credo sale, and so hopefully I can give that a try and then report back on it to you fairly soon. The other thing from Rituel de Fille that I am interested in is their Viridescent line of 3 different green colors. So there is a green eyeshadow, which I actually have always wished that they would make, and they also have a green highlighter, which seems really kind of strange to me, but I think that most of the time the highlighters from this company, they have a shift in them, and they're supposed to be like they're supposed to shift purple or shift red, but it's very, very mild, and it just makes it a little more interesting without looking really weird. And I think I might also be able to use that highlighter on my eyes, so I'm a little bit interested in that. And then there's a lipstick that's supposed to be a little green, which sounds really, really strange. But I still think that I am interested enough in green products, and especially green eyeshadows, that I probably will pick this up and then compare that to the Mob Beauty product and compare it to other green products that I have, just because I do like green eyeshadow a lot. And then RMS is one of my favorite companies, and they have several different products that are new that I am finding very interesting. So the new product from them that I have been really, really liking an awfully lot is their new lip oil. And so far I just have one shade in this. I have the shade Milla, and I think this is maybe my favorite lip oil of all at this point. I think that it feels really good on my lips. It doesn't go on too overwhelming, and it tastes really good. It actually has real vanilla extract in it rather than any kind of synthetic that is based on petroleum, and it does taste really, really good to me, and there's a lot of that vanilla extract in it. And so I've been really happy about that, and I will put just a little bit of this on my lips again. And I don't think it puts on too much of it, so that part is actually good for me. And it comes in a bunch of different colors, and so I did pick up a couple more colors during the Credo sale. So I am thinking that soon I will do a whole video on RMS, and so I can show you the different lip colors at that point. And I also really like their lipsticks, and they came out with some new shades that are more neutral that I especially really like. And so I am really interested in this Legends to Love lipstick. This one has one that is called Miranda, which is a soft rose, and this Eve color, which is sort of a neutral. And then it has one more shade that is not in their regular line, that is more like a cranberry. And so I actually did pick that up during the Credo sale as well. And I've been experimenting for a while with their powder, which comes in a jar like this. And I think this is an okay powder. I am not sure that I like it as much as the Makeup by Mario powder or as much as the loose powder from Beauty. But I think this is a very nice powder, and I can see why so many people seem to be liking it a lot. And I think I do need to try these powders more with different kinds of foundations and under different kinds of conditions to specifically say which one I like the best. But I think this is a perfectly nice powder, and it's worked well for me. And then I also have been trying this Sun Cover Up, which is a sunscreen type of a product that also has a foundation, and it's supposed to be SPF 50. So I think that this particular sunscreen is based on a new form of zinc oxide, which is non-nano, but which does not reflect back white. And so therefore it's a lot more usable than a lot of sunscreens used to be in the past. And then I think they just added some tint to it. So there's actually not a lot of tint in this. So even though it seems pretty thick, it actually seems to be fairly flexible in terms of the shades. And this is actually the lightest shade. And I wouldn't say that it has been ideal for me, but I've sort of been able to make it work. Now, I think that for me, the major problem with this particular product is that it does seem to be kind of designed to be long wear, and it does stick quite tenaciously to my skin, and I have had a kind of a difficult time getting it off in the same way that I have a hard time getting off, for instance, Fenty foundations, and that makes me really kind of not want to wear this. So I think that I'm going to keep experimenting with this to see if I can make it work for me a bit better. But if I were going to pick a sunscreen to wear, I would more pick like the one from the Outset, which I think is using the same sort of zinc oxide as this one, but which seems to be a little bit easier going for me. And RMS is now being sold at Ulta, and I think that they are going to actually have it on display in the stores, in addition to having it on the website. So if that is the case, then that would be fantastic, because then people would be able to try out some of these RMS products. And some of these products obviously are very, very good. And Say has a new lip liner, and it is called 101, and I actually just got this, and I have just given it a try. And I would say that based on my initial experiences, I am liking the Glossier lip liner much, much more. And there are other lip liners in my collection that are similar to the Say one that I also like better, but I'm going to keep experimenting with this, so I will give you a report back later on as to how I am doing with it. And then Sarah Creel is a new brand that is designed for women who are over 40, and it is supposed to be a clean beauty brand. And Sarah Creel is a makeup industry professional who helped to establish the Victoria Beckham beauty line, and she has worked with a number of other really, really high-end companies. And so I picked up two of these products. One is a concealer, and then one is the lipstick. And I actually do like both of these products. I think that the concealer I've actually been using quite a lot. I think it works pretty well for me on my face, and I think it also is a very nice eyelid primer. So I think it's actually very similar to the Say concealer, which is a bit less expensive on a per gram basis and considerably less expensive in terms of investing in it. So I really do like the Say concealer very, very much. But I think that this Sarah Creel one is about the same. It might be a little bit better, but I'm not so sure about that. But it is a really good product. And this lipstick, I also really like the lipstick. It does have a slight bitter taste to it that I think is more like a natural ingredient type of a bitter taste, so it hasn't been really problematic for me, but I do really like this lipstick, and I think that this is a really good start from this brand. And they have a few more products in the makeup line that I would be interested in trying. They have a tubing mascara, or a tubing sort of mascara, called Back of the Cab, and that is only available in black, but it sounds like the kind of mascara that I would like, so I might be interested in picking that up. And then they also have a lip grip that is supposed to work well with lipstick and make your lipsticks last longer. And I think it might be also a little bit like the MAC product that I use often as a lip primer, Prep Plus Prime. So I'm interested in that product. And then they also have a lip moisturizer that some people do really seem to like. So I would be interested in trying that one out as well. Sephora Collection has a new foundation that is called Reveal the Real Skin Tint, and I don't think the ingredient lists look bad. The issue for me is that I haven't really had very much luck with Sephora Collection. I think that an awfully lot of that is made in China, and a lot of the products that I have tried I have felt to be irritating, even though I didn't feel like the ingredient list looked like they should be irritating for me. So I'm not sure that I feel really trusting of this particular line, and so maybe I will try it on in the store, especially if people on this channel seem to be interested. But $22 is a fairly inexpensive price for this product, and so it would be nice if it would work, but I just am not feeling really hopeful about that particular line. And Tarte is a line that pretty much across the board I have felt kind of okay about their products, but I've never been really enthusiastic about any of them. And they have a new loose setting powder that is called Creaseless, and I think the ingredient lists look okay for that. So I would be a little bit interested in trying it. Maybe I will try to look for it. I think Tarte is at Ulta. A lot of Tarte products are at Ulta, so I might try it there. But I don't have a lot of big hopes for that. And Tom Ford has a new line of lip liners. They are quite expensive, but I did pick up one of them to give them a try, and I actually really liked it very much. I don't know that I like it better than the Chanel lip liners, which are considerably less expensive, but I do think this was a nice lip liner, and I have been enjoying using it since I did pick it up. And then they have two more products that I have a little bit of interest in. One is the Architecture Powder, and I keep looking at this powder, and it is $95, which seems to be remarkably expensive, and I've seen very few YouTube reviews on this, or really consumer reviews either. And yet I still feel kind of like I am being drawn to this powder. I just wish that I could try it on before I purchased it. But if I can get it on a good sale, I might give it a try before the year is up, because I just have kind of a hunch that maybe this is a really good product, and it does not have ingredients in it that I think probably will be problematic for me. And then they have one more product that I'm really surprised at, that it doesn't have any fragrance in it, it looks like, and this is called the Cream Blush Highlighter Duo. So this has one really kind of creamy highlighter in it that I think is probably going to be giving Jones Road Miracle Balm type vibes. And then it has a blush in it that is also a cream blush that looks like it is kind of a muted red type of a color. So red blush is really popular right now, and this one looks like it probably would be not too bright, and then it might work for me. So I would really like to try that, but I don't really have a place to go and try Tom Ford products, so that is a little bit unfortunate. And then last year I picked up this little palette of different eyeshadow toppers from Urban Decay. So this is called Moondust. So it's sort of based on the Space Cowboy concept, and this one actually had Space Cowboy in it. And I think these are actually really nice. I think they are very similar to the sparkly shades in the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palettes. And so I think that if you're just interested in sparkly shades, then this is sort of a really popular version of that. And they do have a new version of this particular product this year. This is called the Moondust Space Cowboy Quad. This one doesn't actually have Space Cowboy in it as a shade. It has some other shades in it. But I think that if you feel like you need more sort of sparkly topper shades in your life, that one might be worth considering. And then Victoria Beckham, I did a whole video on her new little concealer pen, and this is in conjunction with Augustinus Bader, and I'm kind of a fan of Augustinus Bader because I feel like their rich cream has worked well for me, and so I didn't mind picking this one up. It was a little bit expensive, and in terms of the cost per gram, it is very, 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 very expensive compared to all of the other concealers, but I thought that this looked remarkably good under my eyes, and I thought that it also did a very good job of camouflaging little spots on my face in like little pinpoint areas. So I thought that those things were very nice. The unfortunate thing for me is that this concealer actually does have a scent to it, and the scent is apparently from a chemical that is called ethylene brosylate, which is a synthetic musk that is from a laboratory that was originally created by DuPont in the 1940s. And so this particular fragrance was not appealing to me at all, and over time, whenever I would use this concealer, I would start to get headaches, and so I ended up letting Victoria Beckham know about that, and they did give me a refund for this product automatically without my actually like having to do anything except just inform them about what was going on. So I was really happy that they had good customer service. I have bought an awfully lot of stuff from Victoria Beckham over time, so I would hope that they would be nice to me. And I am very sad that I'm not able to use this concealer because I was liking the way that it was looking. Whether or not I would have bought it again, considering how expensive it is, I think I might have used it up really fast if I had actually been able to use it on a regular basis, and springing for more money to buy another one of these on a frequent basis, I think that might have been a little bit too much for me. But I do think it's a really, really nice product, and so if you don't mind that synthetic fragrance that's in it and you can tolerate it, then I think that there is some merit here. And Victoria Beckham has a new shade in their Satin Kajal eyeliners. Now those do irritate my eyes, but I know a lot of people really, really do like them. And the new shade is called Orchid. And I think that this is a shade that might work nicely both as a whole eyeshadow as well as just an eyeliner. And I think it's actually a really pretty shade if you like purple type shades. Now I did a whole video on Westman Atelier, actually as part of my Lisa Eldridge video. And so I talked a lot in that video about their new concealer, and I do really like this concealer quite a lot. It is a very heavily pigmented concealer, and so I needed to learn to use just very, very small dots of it, and I do think that it has done a very nice job in terms of camouflaging the issues on my face without making it look like I'm wearing any makeup at all, or without exacerbating the look of my wrinkles if I do use very, very small amounts of it. So I've been really happy with that, and it is supposed to have some nice skincare ingredients in it, and my skin seems to like that perfectly fine. So that's been a big hit for me. And then Westman Atelier also has a little holiday set that is called the Petite Fête Edition that I really like. So it has a new shade of their highlighter balm, it has a new shade of their Baby Cheeks blush, and it has a mini of what is my favorite mascara on the market, which is called I Want You. And then Westman Atelier also is offering a trio of lipsticks, which is $150, but at least one of the shades in there is a unique shade that's not in their regular line, or I think maybe two of the shades are unique shades. So if you like the Westman Atelier lipsticks, then that could be something to consider. For me, I really, really don't like the taste and the smell of those lipsticks, so that is something that I don't need to think about buying. And then YSL has a new eyeshadow quad that is out for the holidays, and I think it looks kind of similar to the palette that I already have, which is called Over Doré. One of the shades looks like it's a little bit different, but this one does look very, very pretty in terms of how the shadows themselves look and how the case looks, and it does look kind of Christmassy, and it looks like it would be a lot of shimmer for the holidays, so that could be attractive, and they are calling that Golden Lace. And I have all of the previous YSL ones that are already on the market, and I wouldn't be surprised if I picked this one up if I could get a good deal on it. That is by far my favorite eyeshadow palette, and I'm kind of at the point where I almost think that I don't really need to be buying any more eyeshadow palettes of any kind except for these YSL ones, because I like the YSL ones so much more than really almost anything else that's out there. Ugh. Oh. All right, sweetie. So thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of the video. And if you're interested in any of the products that I talked about during this video, then please let me know which ones those are in the comment section so I can think about maybe upping their priority in terms of purchasing them. In addition, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, then I hope you will go ahead and do that. And Coco and I love you very much, and we are going to go out for a quick little run before it gets totally dark. So thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. All right, babe.